Happy Flippin' Friday! How are you doing, Christopher Menefee?
I'm outstanding. How are you this morning?
Oh man, I'm great. I am so great. Excited for today, excited for this call. I saw last night that Shawn uh, and Stella are on here with you.
They are. They are. We've got a couple of rock stars on, and it's always exciting to bring folks on. When I saw that we were up for hosting this week, it was no question in my mind that I was going to have these two on because we've been watching it's kind of fun, Jacob, when you see things kind of bubbling up under the surface. I mean, you see the big tidal wave that's coming, and these two, both of their agencies, there's just so much under the surface that you're starting to see it pop out.
Yeah,
We're starting to see their numbers pop, and you'll see a little bit of that today. But it's like by the time they get to engage, they're going to be rolling in with so much steam. It's really phenomenal, and so perfect timing to highlight these folks, but also kind of talk about what they're doing to make a shift. And that's what this business is about. It's making a shift. Sometimes you gotta dig down deep and reload.
yeah. That's exciting, man. They are they're amazing individuals. I know Shawn is fired up. He reached out to me. I don't know if it was last week, just via text, and I was chatting back and forth with him. But I'm seeing what he's doing on social media. It's so engaging. Like, it was different and unique and really cool. The videos that he's posting and so I'm sure he's gaining some traction from that. So really excited for him and his team's growth and um, Stella, man, she's such an encourager, man. She's so positive and that girl has been through it. And um, it's so important, Chris. Like I was thinking about, I got a text this morning, just someone texted me to encourage me. A friend of mine had old friend had saw the speech on Facebook from Ignite and just sent me a message, really thoughtful message. And it made my day, And Stella does that daily for people. Um, but think about that. Like gratitude is so important. We send out gratitude messages, but sending out encouragement messages, I think, is important too. Like, just telling someone, shining a light on their gift because you get more of what you highlight. You know what I mean? Like if you continue to tell someone they're great at X, Y, and Z, they're going to get better at X, Y, and Z. And I just don't think we can understate the value of encouragement. I think sometimes I know for me when I was younger, maybe I stayed away from it because of my ego, right? I didn't want to be seen as like vulnerable by doting on somebody else maybe. Um, but it makes you much more attractive. And um, if you can create that kind of energy around you, like the energy bus says, right? Of I'm going to be an encourager. I'm going to be full of gratitude. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to work hard and be driven. And I just don't see how you can't create an army of people around you that want to run to the top of this thing with you. So I just think it's awesome. And she does that, man. Stella is the epitome of encouragement. And it's been so awesome, Chris, working with you over the years and um, watching how you've, had your lines for business and family, and you've been able to do them both very successful. You've been part of your daughter's life from day one. You don't have to make up for time missed. You were telling me the other day that another business that y'all have started is vending machines, and you did it for your daughter to teach her how to run a business. Like what a cool gift that is to be able to go out and just, okay, I'm in a position now. I can go buy, whether you make money or not, right? Like you can go invest the money in the vending machines, teach her like so many different lessons, man, and have the time to do it where you're not, you know, working 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, and that would be the last thing on your mind. Um, Alls I can tell you is I hope that you don't leave the insurance industry for the vending machine industry. But how's it going for you, by the way?
Yeah, no, sir. That there's no chance of that happening. In fact, I will leave the vending machine industry very with a drop of a hat. No, it's been a great experience. It's kind of funny. I don't know that I really it's probably not the smartest move to take on another project because let's face it, while I started for my daughter, Dad gets to be heavily involved in the operations, and so but luckily we it's kind of a weekend gig for us, and we go out and Saturdays usually and fill machines and check on everything. So, but yeah, it's we when we were approaching 130, actually probably a year before we were approaching 130, she decided that she wanted a puppy. And now, for context, we've got three dogs already, so I don't need another dog. We're overloaded on dogs as it is, but she wanted her own and she wanted it inside. The others are outside. And so I just told her, I said, well, okay, right now we're running for a pretty big thing at work. So I don't have time because, again, dad's going to catch the overflow, which means I'm going to be training the puppy and taking it in and out and, while she's at school. And so I said that, that's not gonna happen right now, but here's the other thing. You need to raise your own money for your own dog. And so she started, of course, every birthday she gets money. She's asking for money, Christmas, whatever. But I'm kind of watching. She drew up a chart. She had a little thermometer that she drew up, just like a fundraiser. And but I'm watching this red line slowly creep, and I'm like, she's going to be out of the house by the time she raises the money for this dog, just get money at birthdays and Christmas. And so I was like, look, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started this business. I'm in this business. We're all about growth, personal growth, but I need to give something to my daughter that she understands that money just doesn't grow on the dad tree, that, we go out and make things happen. So that's kind of the impetus behind it. So she raised money for her own dog, and so it's our 130 puppy because the other stipulations we had to hit 130 before she was able to buy it, and she hit her money goal, and we hit 130 all in the same month, and so
Oh,
um,
that's cool.
yeah, yeah. So it is it's been a lot of fun, been a lot of extra work, but it's all
Yeah,
it's all good in the end.
that's so cool. So you had her convert some of the money that she had gotten into buying a,
Oh, yeah, 100%. So it was that, and that was kind of the again, and I left that little tie out. That's part of the reason why I came across the vending opportunity, and it's very, very small. I mean, we have like three locations, and so just drinks and basic snacks. But so we're not running a full-time business there. Again, just a little weekend gig for a couple hours on the weekend. But she gets paid for going out and stocking machines and counting money and checking inventory, all the things that go into running a little business. So
so smart, man. So smart. And that's gonna pay her dividends for the rest of her life. So I love it, man. I love you. I am grateful for you and for the guests you have on the line. I'm gonna pass it to you guys so y'all can rock it out.
absolutely, man. I appreciate the opportunity to share these two awesome people with you this morning. And again, when we have these calls, it's all about bringing value and something that you could plug into your business. And these two folks are going to bring that in space today because as with all of us, we this business goes in ebbs and flows. We'd love to say it's a straight run to the top, but man, anything that's successful comes along with some challenge. I was listening to a podcast about a week ago, Ed Milet interviewing John Maxwell. And if you haven't gone and listened to that, I highly encourage you to go out and listen to that today. It really was a mindset. Yeah, I'm reading too. I ordered the book from that podcast, so yeah, I'm reading it too. But changing your relationship with failure. Um, and I think we hear a lot of fail forward, overcome your failures, battle through, like and that, that's great. But I think what I took from that Maxwell interview is need to change a relationship with failure. A lot of those have kind of negative connotations. You got to fight through, you got to battle through. Like failure is this big negative thing. It's kind of that anchor slowing you down. The reality is failure and success are coexistent. That you have to have failure to be successful. And one of the biggest failures on the line here today is Jacob Pogue. And as some of you might kind of twinge at that, but no, what I'm saying is that one of the biggest failures is Jacob Pope because he's done more than any of us here. He's had more people come on and quit. He's had more interviews where he's gotten off the interview. He's like, gosh, could have done that one better. He's more times that, in the beginning where he was going out and presenting product and didn't get the sale. He's just done more failure to get more success. And that's the thing that I think is missing so much for us in our culture, society, where, we look at failure as this big, mean, nasty monster that's there to keep us down when the reality is it's there to build us up. If those that go to the gym, there's a concept that we train to failure. The lifting till you can't lift anymore because once you do that, when you walk away from that workout, those muscles are going to grow and rebuild and come back stronger for the next session. And so failure is not a bad thing, and too many people leave this business because they feel like they're failing when the reality is they're just figuring it out and they just need to lean into that more. More failure equals more success. So hopefully, guys, that's something that you could take to your business this week. Let's take a look at some people who have failed a lot and now are using that failure to win a lot. We're going to do a screen share here. All right. We will power through. Got a great couple of agency owners on with you today, and going to be talking about the shift that they made in 2026. And it's all around repetition and growth and momentum, and how those all are in requirement for growth in this business. So, all right, team. Stella, Dinwiddie, Shawn, Cochran, excited to hear from them today. And again, I want to get the reminder that I have hosting this week. I'm looking at the agency. We got so many people winning, but these two folks in 2026 have absolutely hit the ground running, have dug in, have retooled, revamped, keeping with the symmetry system, but adjusting to conditions on the ground, and looking and finding ways to grow and accelerate their agency. You're just starting to see the front edge of that tidal wave, and it's getting ready to hit and hit big. I see it on the back end because I get to see a lot of numbers and a lot of things happening. But you all on this call are going to see this in the coming weeks and months, and excited. So this is an opportunity for you to get an early peek at what's happening for all the success, and especially as you see the numbers popping. A lot of you are going to want to be knowing what's happening with these folks. So excited to highlight today. We're going to start out with Stella Dinwiddie, one of our top producers in the agency. Stella came to us in 2019. Am I correct, Stella? My dates there. Um, Yep. Okay. I was pretty sure I should write these things down as I'm looking it up. But anyway, got myself a little sidetracked. But 2018, hit the ground running, hit the ground running and ran into a few walls. But one of the things about Stella is she is somebody who is a constant learner. She is somebody who digs in, makes no excuses, and so she struggled a little bit in the beginning, but man, she put in more work, more time, more effort than anybody I've ever seen. And she's kept that mentality. So that's the thing. A lot of people come in excited, they work hard, and then they back off, back off, back off. Stella is somebody that is constantly digging in and working and that is paying off for her in this year, 2026, because we're seeing on the recruiting side The numbers on the back end are just phenomenal, and the again the tidal wave that's coming. Stella would love to share a little bit about what you've got on your mind today for the folks here in Pogue Nation.
Okay, well, thank you. What an amazing blessing it is to be here. Let me turn this off. I'm so sorry. I have this other one. Okay. Thank you,
Are
Chris.
you
Thank you.
listening to another call while you listen to us? Come on, Stella, what's going on here?
No, I put it on my phone so I could try to screenshot some things. And
I
you
said
did
you
an
were right
awesome
there.
job, by the way. That was so much fun. And thank you so much for all the kind words that you and Jacob said. I feel extremely blessed and honored. And I'm going to set my timer so that we leave plenty of time for Mr. Shawn Cochran, who I'm super excited to be on this call with, too. Been watching you grow. I love your DFL videos. They are hilarious and they are eye-catching. They're awesome. And yeah, can I share my screen? Because I put some slides together to just share my thoughts on. Okay,
You
I
should be
am the
co-host now.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and start this here. Share this. And let's see, present. There we go. Awesome. So I am so grateful to be here, like extremely grateful to be here. I am direct to the one and only Chris Menefee, and Scott Mink, Jacob Pogue in the Marshall Whalen top of the hierarchy, best hierarchy here. So grateful to be so. Thank you for all the kind things that you guys said. It hasn't been an easy journey. Chris knows, and I tell my team how many times in the very beginning when I first started back in 2019, I would call him in my beginning journey, and finally when I got around to like not quit saying, oh, I didn't want to bother you, you're too busy, I would call him and then I would just start crying because I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see. I was brand new into insurance and I came here broke as a joke. And I was like, I know I could do this. I don't know. And my voice would crack and then I'd start bawling. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. And that was the beginning first half of my year. And he's laughing because it's true. And then there's so many times when I'd call him with, like, oh my gosh, the light bulb went off. And so it's been nothing but a fun journey though, because I love the challenge. I love the rewards. I love where my life is today. I'm extremely grateful for so many things. And that is the God honest truth. This year, 7 years, marks 7 years of successful growth here with Symmetry Financial Group. And that means 7 years of chasing after the best version of me, who I love, and 7 years of failing forward many times, 7 years of tears, 7 years of joy, 7 years of so many incredible memories, challenging myself and honestly getting to live my best life. I get to own my schedule. I own my income. I own, what my day, my routine, and that's priceless to me. It's been 7 years of building more friendships and building teams, embracing and truly enjoying the true gratitude of owning my own agency here. And this is just a short little story of my growth lessons. And I do have my timer on, Shawn, so you're going to be okay. So, and then one quick thing, just a quick note, Greg aced on our team. He wasn't on the 5K week or the top 25, and he should have been because he had 7,500. He's our SME, and he's so amazing. So here's some rules that I put together for myself. Rule number one. These are lessons that I've learned, you guys. Grow yourself. We call this self-development. And in our agency, we honor our core values at Symmetry Financial Group. And we truly have a relentless pursuit of personal growth. Our teams approach our work with a sense of gratitude. and we let our work ethic be that reflection of the appreciation that we have for the opportunities that we have here to contribute to each other and to grow. I'm so grateful for my team, watching their growth, like Greg Aced, our SME. It's amazing. Karina, Kim, Keith, Zach, Al, Retha, Sharisa, Jeanette, Shika, who you saw on the list, and there's so many others here growing. It's so exciting to watch the growth, not only with myself, but with my team. And there was a podcast that I had recently listened to that I shared with you, Chris, and Tony Robbins. He said, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I love that so much, because your growth journey here, you should enjoy it. You should live, because we live and then we die. So, you should be asking yourself, what does my life look like every day, right? Because life is too short. There's so many people. This is what we do. We talk about, what if life stops for you? I love how Jim Larson says, the number one thing we do for our families is protecting them against the worst possible case scenario. So I encourage you to look at your own life like that. And how would you want to live it? How do you want your kids to watch how you live? Your spouse, your team, yourself, when you look in a mirror, how do you feel about that? So having a relentless pursuit of personal growth has been the most fun part of my journey. We always joke around and say that Symmetry Financial Group is actually a leadership development company that just happens to help families with insurance products. And that's truly who we are. I am different than from when I first started here 7 years ago. I started here broke as a joke, and I really had to work on me. And all the list of books that you see on the left-hand side, those are books that I actually read. There's other audios and podcasts, but those are some of my most favorite ones. And my most favorite is No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That one has been a game changer in my personal life and all the way around. And I highly recommend it. So rule number one, grow yourself, because I love that all of the people that we want to be like in this company, they all will tell you that you're never going to grow your team larger than you grow yourself. And that's a hard pill to swallow when you don't see your teams growing, and then you have to look in a mirror and say, oh, okay, I guess I need to grow myself more. Some great things, takeaways that I've been able to do is I have a coach through Giant that Brian Williamson recommended to me, and I meet with her twice a month, and we go through my numbers, we go through what I'm doing, we go through what I'm doing with my agency and my team, and she helps show me all my blind spots. And it's been such a game changer, and I love it so much. I look forward to her feedback. I look forward to her questions. And I also have an accountability call. Gosh, I wasn't going to get emotional with my son. He recently moved to Charleston, South Carolina on an internship and for Boeing. And we meet over Zoom every Sunday, and we talk about our week and our wins, and we've been doing it for months now. And he is such an amazing son. I'm just so grateful for so much, you guys. Like, it's crazy. Rule number 2, embrace your growth journey. Failing forward is your friend. Failing forward is your best friend. Failing forward has been my best friend. You're going to have ups and downs, but as long as you're making progress and learning to manage your emotions through your growth, that's what's going to help get you through each day. And increasing your ability and activities to achieve your next milestone, that's going to get you closer to reaching your goal. That is super important. I have it on we have sticky notes. All of us have sticky notes. I remember Andrew, Jimenez talked about it in the accountability call, how he had sticky notes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have a ton of sticky notes all around. And one of them is, I was talking to my husband about my goals, and he hears me talk all the time. And he said, well, it sounds like if you're not helping a family or writing an app or bringing people into your agency, you're not making money. He goes, why don't you put that on a sticky note and put that up there? And I was like, that's a great idea. And because sometimes, we can get pulled into drama of someone else and spending a lot of time with them. And yes, we're here to help our teams, but it was just something that he said. And one thing that I heard from Brandon Ellison years ago, he said, you have to be stronger than a bad day because you're going to have bad days here. So be stronger than a bad day. All right, I'm going to try to move these quicker. Because guess what? Life happens to all of us. I think of my beautiful friend, Christine Keegan, who recently went through chemo. She went through a lot worse than I did. Chris and Jacob and all these people who know me, they say the kindest things because they know that, last year I went through chemo, and you go through things, but there's people that have been through worse things than we have. And it does you no good to worry about it. And years ago, when I first got diagnosed, for those of you that that do read your Bible or that are into learning from it, one big lesson years ago, because I used to be a worrywart years and years ago, believe it or not, and he said, God said, worry doesn't do you any good. Like, how's it going to help you? Can any of you worry by adding a single hour to your lifespan? And I was like, no. And it's the truth, and then he said things like, where's your faith? And so all these things meant a lot to me. So how we choose how to live our lives every day and how we respond is the difference makers. All right. Rule number 3, chase the right people. Up on the upper left-hand side, that's my upline, Chris Menefee. He's my upline, he's my mentor, he's my coach, and he's my friend. We have to chase the right people who already got to the next level of the results that I want. I couldn't fit everybody's picture on here, but these are the people that I was able to snag real quick and put them up here that have made a big, huge impact in my life, namely my upline, my mentor. Make sure you're chasing the right people who have already achieved the goals that you're chasing after, people who can save you time, even years, to help you figure your journey out here. What did they do? What did they talk about? Their failures. And we were on a call with Marshall Whalen yesterday. He talked about having in-person overviews. So guess what? I'm planning one for next month and the month after and the month after that. If you're not doing the things that they talk about, then how are you going to expect to win here? Get your ticket to Denver today. All right. Number 4, do the right things. Master the mundane. This alone is going to save you. All too many people quit because they can't handle the simple mundane. It's true. How many of you, if you're being honest, put a 1 in the chat if you enjoy calling leads and no one answers for hours on end. Exactly. So mastering the mundane, and the mundane can mean a lot of different things. It can be just, it's kind of like, sometimes it feels like Groundhog Day, but how you look at it, how your perspective of it, are you getting up and looking forward to the mundane and going, oh my gosh, today I'm going to go out there and help a lot of families? Or are you, the type of person that is more, drowned in thoughts of like, oh, but, no one's going to answer. So your focus is everything here. All right. Get yourself to Denver. Rule number 5, know your targets. Don't be a dabbler. Be intentional. Be focused. Be determined. Be relentless. Be ready every single day. I made my promotions, a lot of them, I started off at 60% in the beginning, and I didn't know it because I didn't know what my targets were. And then as I moved on, when I wasn't meeting my next targets, being stuck at 105 is no fun. And so when you start managing your business, that's where you're going to start hitting your goals and getting closer. All right. I don't know why that's going backwards. Okay, I'm so sorry. Rule number 6, having clear expectations and anticipation. They are the ultimate power to your success from day one. These are your learning curves. So getting through your learning curves is everything, you guys. Just understanding that one week you're going to feel like you're winning, and then the next week you're not, and you're going to be like, oh, what happened? Just know, that is part of the process. So sorry that I messed those slides up there, but I want to make sure I get this back to you, Shawn. And those were some of my lessons. I hope that somehow it was a takeaway for somebody here, whether there was somebody new or somebody, that's already been here. I hope that somebody got some takeaway from that today. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, Stella. Thank you for sharing that. To the title of our call, repetition. You saw just a lot of repeat there. Digging back in, and a lot of times repeating means just digging back in, like going back to the self-development, going back to the system, going back to an event, going back to accountability, going back. So, repetition creates growth, growth creates momentum, and you're seeing that. And you will see that from Stella and her team for the rest of the year as they power into engage. So, thank you, Stella. Man, that is awesome. Show Stella some love in the chat. But next up, we have Mr. Shawn Cochran and Shawn, agency owner here. I think the founders talk about this all the time. There's the sense that we reach agency owner, we've kind of, for some people, they have arrived. And so it's easy to kind of let off the gas and drift back. But the reality is agency owner is just the next step. And sometimes when you take that next step, you almost have to take a step or two back. We hit a level and then things draw back. Now, Shawn hasn't been one of those people that has let off the gas, but his agency has taken some steps back. In fact, we came into last year, honestly, just, Shawn, not to get too far out ahead of what you're going to talk about, but things were kind of grinding down a little bit. I mean, we had a little bit of attrition, some things were going on, and just trying to manage, getting things realigned and going back the right direction. But here's the beautiful thing about repetition is even in the suck, if you keep repeating the fundamentals that are going to help you win, eventually that will turn around. And that's what we've been seeing with Shawn and his team. So much energy, been jumping on their team calls every week. And I mean, just the energy, new people, every call coming in. So Shawn, talk a little bit about that journey from, hey, hitting a huge benchmark, maybe some things kind of go sideways or maybe a little backwards, and then what it takes to dig in and accelerate again.
Absolutely. The first thing I'm going to say is, Stella, the slides. Come on now. I don't have any slides, so you're going to have to just listen to me. So great job, Stella. Absolutely amazing. Sometimes you have to step back. Sometimes you have to look at yourself. The thing that I'm going to talk about, kind of to start with, is this place changes you. I am not the same person that I was when I came here. The last time I spoke on a Pogue Call, it's been over a year ago, and Jacob said, Shawn, you need to stop saying that. And I'll tell you what it is. I'm going to say it right now because I'm still going through the same thing. It was him that helped me through it. Before I came here, I would not speak in front of more than 5 people. Absolute complete fear. Passed up job opportunities in my life because I was so fearful of speaking in front of a crowd. And shout out to Jody, already sending me something this morning, knowing what you heard I had that conversation. So, and then Jerry giving me a hard time about the slides. So, yes, we have a lot of energy. It was me listening to Jacob having a hard time with speaking on a call that encouraged me to reach out and be able to become better. So each one of the things here, it changes who you are, and you have to fight through or fail through it to be able to become better. I could have very easily walked away because of that fear. When I found out that I have to speak in front of people, I could have run, and that would have been the end of it. But I really stepped into it. So I'm going to have to look down at notes where I don't have the slides up on the screen, just letting everybody know here. So it changes who you are. This business is and this is the biggest thing that I had to look at. This is a us and we business. This is not an I or me. You cannot get to the top of this company by yourself. That was a huge realization for me. You cannot do it. We have a family farm. I'm just going to use an example before we move forward. If we go down to the farm and we just use one carriage and we have one horse, that horse can pull that carriage, no problem. You have a couple people in there. Now, if we get out and we use a stagecoach or we use one of the big 20-person trolleys, that one horse is not going to haul 20 people down the road. You got to start hooking up 2, 3, or 4, because it's going to take all of them together to be able to haul all of that. Now you get momentum. We're talking about momentum. And now you're flying down the road. But if you've got one horse trying to pull all of that down the road, what's going to happen? The trolley comes to a stop. And what happens? Everybody gets off the trolley. They start getting off because there's not momentum anymore. There's nothing happening anymore. The ride's over. So you've got to, the biggest thing with momentum with me is figuring out that I had to really get in and dig in and change my mindset, change my perspective. That's from Wendy. She said, Shawn, it's a perspective. It is. It's a complete perspective. So we have to change who we are, and we have to change our mindset and basically say that I'm all in. You have to burn the boats. You can't start looking at other jobs. You can't start looking back to yesterday. You can't start looking at, you have to get yourself all in, because if you keep taking the energy and looking at another job opportunity and saying, well, I'm going to go over here. Is this better? Is that better? I'm here to tell you, you have no idea if you're just getting here what you have in front of you. I've owned businesses before, and if you change that perspective, you don't have to pay for inventory. That's your carriers. You don't have to pay for employees. That's recruiting. You don't have to pay for any of this. The only expense that you have is your marketing expense, and that's your leads. That's it. You have that sitting in front of you, and you have to change that perspective and change that mindset and say, I am all in. So someone might say, well, I'm going to try it out. What's there to try out? Look at all the people that are winning here all of the time. It's you that has to get into it. It's you that has to get in and start using the system. So that was my number one mindset. Schedule. If you're out working a regular job, whether you're traveling and you're working, I was working 14 hours a day. If you take and work that 14 hours a day, get up and work your schedule no different than you are at a regular job, you will kill it here. But too many people are saying, okay, well, I worked for 2 hours. Well, I made 10 dials. I talked to one person about recruiting last month and then saying, well, what's wrong? How come it's not working? Well, it's not working because you're not doing it and working it just like you would if you were working for somebody else. That's number 2 in the momentum for me. Number 3, you talked about this, Stella, association and being engaged with the right people. Are you talking to the people that are actually winning, or are you talking to the people that are talking in your ear and saying about what's wrong? Boy, this isn't working and that's not working. If you talk about the people that are negative every single day, then you're going to be negative as well, and you're not going to make it here. You have to speak, and that's been me, only talking to the people that are winning and that I can work with every single day. And with that, find somebody that you are talking to every day that you can associate with. Shout out to Wendy. I bet we talk 5 times a day. It's nonstop, constant, about this going on or that. But it is but find that person and find the person that is beside you to be able to associate with on a regular basis. I can't go to Jacob Pogue or Marshall and say, okay, you guys want to be a running buddy? That's not going to work. They've already done the work. They're already there. I got to have somebody that's going to fight through the hard every single day and not fail every single day. So you got to have somebody that is fighting with you, but doing it in a positive manner every single day. You were talking about it, Stella, and it's self-development. Back in the beginning, we talk about how it has changed me as a person, but you have to have that self-development every single day. You have to continue to work on yourself, because the person I am today is not going to be the person that I'm going to be when I get to 130. So as a business, so think about it this way. A lot of people that know me, I talk about this being a franchise every single day. When I said to you, you have something, you have no idea what you have. You have a franchise. You can end up owning it. They give you a document that says that you own it. Put that inside your mind, and then you don't have to pay for it. You just have to work for it. You don't have to pay 50 or 100 or $200,000. You just have to work for it. So when you get to BAO, like Chris was saying, where it's letting off the gas, that's the time to lean in. You were just given the keys to your store on Main Street. And then when you get to 130, this is what I'm learning, and this is what I'm listening to. When you get there, now you just want to start opening up a whole lot more franchises of the franchise you already have. But it's all that mindset. It's all about your schedule. It's all about being engaged, and it's all about the association of the different people that you're associated with every day. That's what's changed for the momentum for me, what's making me grow, and what's really making it work for me. That's been the change for me. But it's having to change me from the inside out and not complaining anymore about what is not working, because if it isn't working, it's not because of the system and what Symmetry Financial Group has given to us. It's me. It's Shawn Cochran. That's why it's not working. That's all I got, Chris.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. Great message, Shawn. And so much of what's going on in his business, you can hear it in his message, is taking ownership. Taking ownership of where you're at, the good and the not so good. We won't call it bad, because it's all part of the journey. It's part of the lessons, part of the failure that we go through to level up, to grow. And both of these folks are leaning into that, and that's the big piece that a lot of these calls are delivering that message, and are built around, is leaning into the hard, the difficult. But repetition is the key to growth, but also it's the key to removing the emotional barriers of the business. Keep doing the thing, and the thing gets easier, and the momentum starts building itself. So, team, we appreciate everybody being on today. Thank you for the opportunity to sharing. Hopefully you got just a nugget or two that you could take and add to your business, add to your mindset, add to your week. Let's go out. Let's go out and help families, help new people find this business. There are people out there that hate going to work, and they would love working here. So go introduce them to this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all. Have a great week.